Ask most Americans about German history and you'll get a 6-year highlight reel. 1939, 1945, Nazis defeated, the end. But stopping there is like saying US history is just cowboys and slavery. Entertaining maybe, but completely missing the plot. The real story of Germany is a second act almost nobody here talks about. Rubble turning into prosperity, families splitting in half by a wall, and a peaceful revolution that made the whole world cheer. Hey, I'm Mischa. Welcome to Mischa Meets America. I grew up in Germany for almost 3 decades before moving to the United States. And here's what blew my mind. In America, people only seem to know one chapter of our story. Today, I'll take you through the Germany you never learned about in school. The economic miracle, life in East versus West, the fall of the wall, and how my country became one of the most stable democracies in the world. In US classrooms, Germany is a cameo appearance. Hitler, the Holocaust, maybe a quick photo of the Berlin Wall, and then silence. Almost nothing about how West Germany rebuilt into an economic powerhouse, and almost nothing about what everyday life looked like in East Germany. For context, after 1945, Germany was carved into 4 zones: American, British, French, and Soviet. Out of that came 2 countries that shaped Cold War politics for the next 45 years. For all you Americans out there watching, did your teacher back in school stop the story in 1945? Be honest and drop it in the comments. Here's the part most Americans never hear. West Germany's Wirtschaftswunder, the economic miracle. From 1948 to 1952, we received about $1.4 billion in today's currency value in Marshall Plan aid from the US. That helped, but money alone didn't rebuild a nation. Economic minister back in the day, Ludwig Erhard, introduced the Deutsche Mark in 1948, scraped most price controls, and triggered a consumer boom. By the 1960s, West Germany had climbed to the 3rd largest economy in the world. Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Siemens, suddenly they were global powerhouses. Meanwhile, in East Germany, they built a planned economy, less wealthy but heavy industry, and Olympic medals became national pride. Imagine Detroit in 2008 bouncing back to become the new Silicon Valley in just 20 years. That's the scale of what happened. While the West boomed, East Germany ran on strict state control. Travel was restricted, dissent was risky, and the Stasi became one of the most extensive surveillance agencies in history. But life there wasn't uniformly bleak. Jobs were guaranteed, housing was cheap, education and healthcare were free. The trade-off? Stability in exchange for freedom of travel and speech. By the late 1980s, the economy stalled and dissatisfaction grew amongst citizens. Protests began in churches, then spilled into the streets of Leipzig and Berlin, and the peaceful revolution started. On November 9th, 1989, the unthinkable happened. The Berlin Wall opened. Less than a year later, Germany was unified without war, without foreign military enforcement, and without widespread violence. 17 million East Germans became citizens of a unified Germany overnight. It actually remains one of the largest non-violent political transitions of the 20th century. Where were you when you first saw the image of the wall coming down? Or if you weren't alive yet, when did you first learn about it? And believe me, David Hasselhoff did not bring the wall down. Today's Germany rarely gets mentioned in American classrooms, and I get it, but it matters. We are the 4th largest economy in the world, and within those top 4, the very smallest, because we fit 14 times in the United States. We are a founding member and key player in the European Union. Over 40% of our electricity now comes from renewable energy. We lead in engineering, green technology, and precision manufacturing. And on top of that, Germany has built a stable parliamentary democracy, often run by coalition governments. In less than half a century, we went from rubble to global leader. Germany's dark past matters because it's one of the darkest moments in human history. But so do the decades that followed. Our story is proof that history doesn't have to define a nation's future. What about your country? What part of your history do outsiders always get wrong or never hear about? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you thought this was surprising, wait until you see my next video, the biggest myths Americans believe about Germans today. Don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one. Tschüss.